Hello, and doing the traditional Red Scar greeting of forgetting which slider is my slider and which slider is everybody else's. We are back with our Scarred Lands campaign might be a strong word. Calamity?
Ow.
Rolling pile
Shade.
of corpses?
Shade.
I don't get to play anymore apparently, so I've gotta take the chances I can to get some stabs in. I am Alex, and I am once again in the hot seat. I'm also GMing. The hot seat may or may not be related to anything else. You can find me on Twitter if you really want to, at Liberty Otter, and you can ask whether or not I've had a stroke whilst writing something. I reserve the right to point you back to a page number. And we are back with Red Scar and friends, and will this be the week that we make it through an intro without mentioning Hellboy? No, because I've just done it.
And sorry.
So next session, we're all gonna come dressed up as Hellboy characters. No one say anything to Mark. And then we're just gonna sit down like everything is normal. We're not gonna mention Hellboy once though.
That would be amazing.
The pact is sealed. And similar to last week, we are going to do a bit of scene setting, and then I will introduce our lovely cast of denizens, forest people, and cinnamon rolls, otherwise known as Picandra. So, Gilspad is a land. Yeah, I'm just going to set the scene and then I'll say hello to everyone. Gilspad is a place that is not like it once was. The Divine War, long ago, ravaging it. Gods and titans, creatures of immense power, waging a terrible and costly war that left the land different. It left it a scarred land. On the road to the Broadreach horizon, the lively conversation cutting through the gentle breeze through this short valley, the sound of a fist impacting a hollow boulder. We find ourselves on the road, not too far from what would be civilization here, but still far from many of the comforts that people would come to know or would cling to in a more civilized age. And with that, we begin our story. And we will start with Terry, say hello.
Hi. Hi. Yep, I'm Terry. You can find me on Evil Morrisman on various social media platforms. And I'm playing Grafleth Gore, a half-orc, well, he's half-orc, he's not so sure. But I'm a paladin of the Silver Order, and it's my job to smite evil wherever I find it.
Remember, kids, paladins don't have spell slots, they have smite slots. And our longest running character, Paco and Picandra.
Yes. Well, I am actually Picandra. I am a manticore, which is to say, like some sort of humanoid cat, with zero concept of boundaries, and who still likes to believe that everybody can be nice at times. We'll see about that. I have my challenges ahead of me. You can find me in GMS Magazine, by the way, just in case, you know. And yes, get help.
And last but by no means least, the walking pile of sass that has become this is character.
That's what happens when you kill my characters. Hi everyone, I am Liz. I am the owner of Angry Hamster Publishing. You can find me on Twitter at Angry Hamster RPG, or on Facebook with my very long last name, which I believe is probably below me. I am playing Amalia, She is an elven cleric, though you wouldn't know it. We like to say not that type of cleric.
Not that type of cleric. Not all clerics.
And despite how I play her, I am right now trying not to get smoked by a party member. That is my goal this session, for Raglath not to smite me.
We'll see.
I like it. Attainable. Like, it's the sweet. When last we left our intrepid group of travellers, you had spotted a group that had left this what you now know to be a supply cache, which had a few items of note, specifically several bloody torn sashes and a small idol to one of the titans. And unless anyone has anything pressing that they would like to do in this valley, we will press on as you continue your march south towards the first village. On your way there, Picandra, can you make me a survival check? You will have advantage because you are that type of ranger.
Okie dokie, let me...
Our virtual tabletop is provided by the wonderful people at Foundry, and as were the 6 nat 20s that doomed most of us.
So you told me what's...
Shift and click.
Yeah, but which...
Survival.
Survival. Where I can see it, because my screen doesn't get down enough, because it doesn't have enough resolution. Okay, so shift. Ta-da. Oh my god. Oh, good start of the evenings, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else. Wow. I am happy with that.
Okay. Oh, that is a very fine number.
Mm-hmm.
You are able to spot as you continue out of the valley. There's the occasional outcropping of trees. It gives way to hilly, the occasional hill. Rather dry earth, nothing that could hold a crop that you can see. You spot several signs of movement, that one of which is the signs of animals assumedly running away from something or being herded by something, which is to the southeast of you. To the southwest of you, you spot a procession of familiar footprints that aren't right. They're humanoid. There's about 5 of there's at first you think 5 or 6, but with your training you narrowed it down to 6. And the way that the legs, the feet are dragging in the dirt reminds you of those terrible creatures that took your friends not so long ago. And to continuing south, the horse trail tracks pick up a group of about 15 heavily laden horses, large horses. Which direction?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I rely all this to my companions, and I explained to both of you. You know what happened to me just a couple of days ago, correct? You remember that I lost all my friends.
Everyone you knew and loved died, right?
Apart from myself, yes, that's pretty much correct. I didn't die, but the creatures that made a good meal of my friends are in that direction. There are 5 of them, but there's been a group of a lot more people around here. So either we take precautions, which is never a bad thing to do, or we get ready for some trouble, which is sometimes a bad thing to get into. But I would love to kill these creatures, please.
My gut tells me that as much as my heart yearns to go and smite them, I often feel preparation is kind of the best path. To run foolishly into any battle without knowing who you're assailing is the best way to do things. So,
I am, with the greatest of respects, I am not disagreeing.
What do you say?
So no, I'm just saying that I agree with you. What did it sound like? What was that?
If you say 60, it does sound like we might. I mean, could potentially be outnumbered, especially if they're heading towards the camp.
I'm not disagreeing with you. That's all I'm saying. So, if you want to, we can not pursue this line of action, but I would like to kill these things. Please. Because, revenge. Justice? 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 Is that a better word for you? Justice? You like justice, right? You like...
Let's do it this way then. We will scout them out.
Mm-hmm.
If we feel that we're overwhelmed, then we won't engage straight away.
Okay, that it sounds like a fairly decent plan. Okay, I'm down with that.
Because say we. Often these things have a source. They come from somewhere. They don't just spring out of the ground for no reason whatsoever. What we need to establish is what the source is, and deal with that. Because ultimately, that's what's responsible for the loss of your friends.
Yes, I would side with that, definitely. As I said, I would like to kill them, but I know what they can do, and I don't wish to die. I don't wish for either of you to die either. So I would prefer you stay alive. That's what I'm saying. I would prefer that. It would be a lot more convenient. Let's put it that way. Because you're my friends now.
Well, that's my opinion. But obviously, I'm not the only person in this group. We've not heard from your friend.
I mean, that sounds like a plan. I'm happy to go along with tall, shiny, and brooding.
Wait. What? Just repeat that, please, slowly.
I'm happy to go along.
Stop. You can stop at I'm happy. Just stop there. That's it. That's fine. That you can say that.
Yes, I'm very often happy.
Good. I'm excellent.
I mean, who's to say that these undead creatures aren't chowing down on some other people's friends right now?
I don't know. We don't have a way of knowing that.
Right, well, let's not hang around too much longer. Let use your innate abilities to open them and see if we can find out what's going on.
Okay. Well, they're over there.
Let's go.
Okay, you head out. Reset the clock, a decision was made, and as you head out, I take it you're walking at a fair pace, but not exerting yourselves, being very aware of everything.
No coconuts.
Well, because of my innate abilities, I can just go and tell them, look, if you go that way and go this way and then do this and then jump over there, we can go a lot faster. And it's like I'm holding your hand and going through, kind of a high street in the middle of the night with absolutely nobody.
You say it's like that, but from my knowledge of Picandra, that's probably what it does look like in actuality as well.
It's just going, I don't know. I have this. I make going through the forest very easy.
Mm-hmm. So you wander. you continue wandering, and you come to a odd sight, a stream that gives way to a small river as the trees become slightly more dense. However, if everyone would care to give me a nature check, or those of you that are interested enough and not trying to imagine that you're somewhere else. Nat 20 from the Paladin.
Yeah, suddenly I'm David Bellamy.
Well, as the stream gives way, it's immediately obvious to your eyes that this is not a naturally occurring river. It's new, but that makes no sense because rivers do not form overnight, but this one looks like it's formed over a rather small amount of time, maybe months.
So it's still naturally occurring. It's not like a leak or something like that.
It looks like a river, but the signs of the ground around it suggest that it isn't. And as you look at the water, as you dip the gauntleted hand, the water, as the light hits it, has this distinct... At first you think it's a red tinge, but as you run your hand kind of over the bottom, thinking perhaps it's clay or some kind of debris at the bottom of it, and there isn't, the water appears to be thick with blood.
Obviously, I relay this information, my friends. This is very troubling.
You are muted, Cleric.
We have 3 choices. We can follow the stream and basically get away from the blood. We can follow the stream up here and find out where the blood comes from, and then find out. Or we can go in that direction and forget that any of this ever happened. The third option is the least appealing.
Alex, does the stream seem magic-y? Or is it like blood just coming from someplace?
That would be either a nature or a investigate. Yes, I would allow Arcana. I'm in a generous mood.
Well, I'm checking to see if it's magic-y. That's why
sure.
I suggest Arcana, but I can also do investigation if...
No, Arcana can work. I can make it work.
Oh, I forgot. I don't roll above a 6 in this game. Guys, this is I want to rage quit. I just want to rage quit.
Foundry is punishing you for your hubris. The dice gods hear your plea, and they whisper, no.
Foundry does not like this new character. Foundry didn't like the old character. So I don't know.
With a 7, there's still things that you would know from living in the Ganges.
Okay.
There are, for example, the fact that this river, it's not a man-made river. It's not got any straight lines in it. It's got signs of it kind of eroding into the rock. But the way that the earth is packed around it, the bottom of the bottom of the river as it gets deeper, all suggests that it's a new excavation, as if it's not quite complete. And the water, it isn't thick with blood in terms of there is blood further down that's like slowly moving down with the currents. No matter how much water you pick up or how much water you look at, it is this consistent light red kind of glaze in the water that persists, which suggests to you it's similar. It reminds you of it reminds all of you, because you live in this world, of the legends of the Blood Sea.
Oh, dip, dip, dip.
Maybe a con save. No, I'm kidding. It tastes bitter, a little bit biley, and irony, kind of like a copper tang that blood has.
Marmite.
See, now you just made it worse than blood, Terry.
Tastes like Mama. I'll have some.
All right. Interesting.
Picandra,
I say,
please.
oh, let's go see if there's a Titan.
Picandra, could you please make me? It would be a perception check. Who is your favourite enemy?
Undead.
You can have advantage.
Okay, booyah, 18.
Okay, 18. You are, as you continue down following this bizarre river, it's kind of, river's perhaps a bit of a strong word, more of a lake, really. But you are able to spot signs of, at first you think it might be more undead, but the gate's too regulated, too poised. Perhaps it's people coming down to fill water skins or other things. But there are footprints that lead up to this lake, but not back.
Okay, that's kind of worrying.
And the more recent ones have more signs of not going away, if that makes sense. So you can see ones from weeks ago where there's signs that they've kind of left, perhaps they went for a swim or something else. But the ones that are like from this morning don't have any signs of leaving, but there are no signs of drag marks. There are no signs of where the body may or may not have been.
Okay, listen, you creatures, companions and dear friends of mine. Some people are going in to the water, but not coming out of the water. That's kind of worrying, so I am going to throw some conjecture. First possibility, somebody's very, very bad at teaching people to swim, and they are drowning. Second possibility, there is a creature that once you go into the water to swim, it kind of eats you or wants to play with you forever, whichever comes first. And third possibility, there is a creature somewhere that somehow entices you to go into the water, because there is absolutely zero sign of struggle, which is good because I think that creature may be a pacifist. So I have no idea where I'm getting this from, but it would be an interesting thing to make sure that we don't go into the water and not come out of it. So shall we not go into the water? I don't know if I would have said made sense. I think it did, to me.
Alex, at the mention of this, I take the raccoon that's draped around my shoulders,
Marcus, yes.
and I throw him as far as I can into the water. Does it get eaten?
Throw it in, and for a moment, as the black fur falls below the reddish waters, and there's the bubble, and then there's a kind of disturbance on the face of the thing, and then nothing, and then a set of raccoon eyes up, staring daggers at you, as it slowly floats further down the lake, unblinkingly.
You can swim. I take like a piece of jerky out of my bag and I dangle it.
Kind of turns around and slowly swims back, taking its time.
I say, well, there's some answers. I didn't hear you, Taco.
Which ones? What answers are these? I mean,
you said don't go into the water, right?
Yeah,
the raccoon wasn't eaten.
No, but I mean, come on, it's a raccoon. Who would want to eat that? Yeah.
All right.
Why don't you go into the water?
Sure.
You could do with it.
I walk into the water.
You walk into the water of this reddish lake, and as you kind of walk deeper into it, whilst the investigation's happening, you've kind of walked a bit further up, so it's less of a stream and more of a lake. and the depth of it drops off fairly considerably, about 10 foot in. At which point...
I was about to say, I'm not going swimming distance because I'm in full armor.
Yeah.
Alex.
Yeah, but you kind of dangle your feet in, you kind of
Yeah.
rummage around, and everything is fine. It's a bit weird. It smells. I think that's the worst bit. It's that smelling of stagnant blood.
I
That
smell.
kind of... Yep.
I turn around. This would be a good comedic moment, Alex. I turn around and I say, well, there's nothing here.
And as I was about to say, with that, let's roll some initiative as...
I don't want to roll I don't want to roll anymore. Do I have to roll?
Okay, I'll roll for everyone then, okay.
I'll roll.
Okay, so we've got...
I
So,
haven't rolled mine yet.
don't worry, I've done it through the Magic of Foundry.
Oh.
So we have got Picandra, followed by Comedic Moment, followed by Something, followed by Smite O'Clock, followed by several other things.
My name is Smite Bot.
Tell me I'm wrong. Lie to me. So, Picandra, you are very aware of your surroundings, especially with the fact that you've been given Thing of Undead, sightings of undead, especially after what happened to your friends. You've been keeping your head on a swivel, and you spot behind your new friend, might be a strong word. There's not movement in the water, but movement where you're able to see through the semi-clear water of the mud beneath it. And there is also a feeling of a shift beneath your feet, as if something is burrowing out from the riverbed.
Okay.
As 4 shapes at the moment, between 5 and 6 foot tall, appear to be digging their way out from under and alongside the river. And one of them, as see, there's nothing here, doesn't so much splash up, it stands up very slowly, the bloody water pooling out of its vacant eye sockets, its jaw ajar, as this zombie doesn't breathe, doesn't make a sound, its tongue hanging loose, half rotted off, behind your new party member. What would you like to do?
Personally, I would like to take my bow and a very pointy arrow as quickly as possible and try to shoot at whatever it is coming out of the water as fast as I possibly can.
Certainly. So you make the attack roll, unless there's anything you want to do beforehand. Boom!
An 18. Does that dig a new hole into whatever creature I just happen to hate?
So traditional archery training, would say go for the eye socket, but you've been fighting under dead, well, since 2 nights ago. So instead, you go straight in between the eyes, through the forehead, and the shock of it kind of pushes it back, which causes one of its hands to splash into the water, alerting, hopefully, your new cleric friend. But it remains upstanding.
And as soon as I do that, I say, could you please be mindful of those things? Thank you.
And then with that, it is then... It is then... It is then Imala's turn.
So there's one undead creature in front of me, and there's 4 burrowing. Sorry, I was lagging while you were giving your description, Alex.
Okay, so one has stood up behind you with... He must have been a stand-up comedian in life because the timing was impeccable. There's 2 burrowing under where Picandra and the Smite Bot are currently standing, but you can see their hands kind of flailing. And there's another one kind of behind you, but still about 15 foot out.
Okay, are they all within like 30 feet of me?
Yes.
Turn undead.
Okay, what does it look like when you turn undead?
I turn around. I turn back to the group. I roll my eyes. I start speaking in this dark, kind of corrupted language, which you think is not fit for any mortal to hear, but you're pretty sure it's a lot of cursing and anger. Basically, like, I point a finger at each of them, or in the distance of each of them, and yeah, hopefully they get turned. They need to make a wisdom save, I think. Yep, wisdom saving throw versus DC 13.
So they all fail.
And yeah, that means, sorry, I will, this is a very long time since I've played a cleric. They are turned for a minute or until they take any damage. They have to spend their turns trying to move as far away from me as they can. And they can't willingly move to a space within 30 feet of me. Okay. I say, well, I look around, splashing in the water.
And with that, the one that was stood behind you with the arrow sticking in its house kind of goes limp and lets the slow current of the lake carry it very slowly back away from you. And with that, we are over to...
I mention, by the way, I say, if you don't attack it, it won't attack you.
Gravlath.
That's not an option for Smite Bot. Sorry.
All he heard was attack.
I'm going to have to. I'm compelled to do so. The power of the undead compels me to attack. So yeah, I'm gonna strike out with my sword at the first available zombie.
Certainly. So there's one that's kind of that's been burrowing out of the riverbed beneath you, and it manages to burrow out just in prime time to present its neck to your waiting self. Go ahead and make the attack roll.
So. Oops.
12 points is more than enough because it's a zombie.
Right, and can I, because I really want to do this, I want to show them who they're dealing with. Can I add Divine Smite to that, please?
You certainly can. It would be 2d8. It is then 3d8 because undead.
Ooh, 40.
Its head comes clean off as you
Flash of silver light.
swing down, caving through the cartilage and bone halfway, and then a silvery light builds from the base of your sword until, like a hot iron, it sears through the remaining tendons, and the head slowly floats down the river as the body decays before your eyes. Whatever foul magic animating it purged by the holy vengeance of the Silver Order.
And I invoke the name of Corian.
And we
have it younger. Yeah, sorry. It's I have, and I do apologise to my friends who are hopefully going to try to avoid trouble, but I am oath bound to come and take care of these things.
The remaining 2 zombies actively walk with the current of the river further down. Picandra, there's something different about these undead. They're not the well-groomed, colour-coordinated things that you encountered and slew the other night. These are half-rotted corpses. They look elven, and like they're in a state of kind of utter shambles and disrepair. And it is back to you, Picandra. They have moved 30 foot down the lake.
Do they look like they're actually going away, or just that they are stepping aside? As in, they're not retreating fully.
They're not retreating. There's divine light that seems to be kind of shooing them, rather than them moving under their own steam.
Okay, in that case, I will shoot another arrow and see if that also.
Yeah. Actually, sorry, it's been a full turn, so you can see them. They're 30 foot down the lake, and they're kind of stood there staring, their features all ajar in a mockery of life. Go ahead and make the attack roll.
Booyah.
That will definitely hit, and that will definitely do some damage. And it's... Are you the type of ranger that does extra damage against your preferred enemy?
I should be, I believe. No, I need to check that one out.
Okay.
Let me double check.
Cool. And then with that, the zombie that has had an arrow, the same zombie, second arrow. It's a lot more central. In fact, you thought the first hit was good, Picandra, but the second one's almost goes through it. It's much more... it's in the 10 ring. And the zombie that you hit... it doesn't walk. It crawls. It sticks its head back under the water and kind of scuttles. But it's scuttling away from you.
I could shoot it. And no, I know it next to damage.
Mm-hmm. Cool. It scuttles away. And with that, we are back to Imala.
I scowl and I say, children, if you're not going to listen to what I say, at least attack the same target. So Picandra is kind of adjacent to me, and
Yep.
Gravelis is a little bit farther down, right? Is that how I'm...
Yes. So they're both on the riverbed next to you, but... So they're all in arm's reach, and Liz is frozen. Okay, how much of that did you hear?
Sorry, that completely broke up for me, but what I do is I just move in between the both of them.
Yep.
So that they're within my aura, and I will cast Sacred Flame on the one that Picandra has been attacking.
That one, as I say, sticks its head under the water and scuttles further down the lake, further away from you, oddly, which does strike you as odd because you know enough about turning to know, like, oh, well, that's no longer the effect, and hang on, now it's running away? Why would it wait?
Yeah, that also is weird because they're meant to, for a minute, try to actively get as far away from me as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So just waiting is strange.
They've moved 30 foot away from you and then are kind of almost...
waiting.
Yeah.
That's not how Turn Undead works. That's strange.
Mm-hmm.
But sure. Anyway, I'll cast Sacred Flame then on the one that Gravelis is attacking.
Oh, that's very dead. That thing's head came clean off.
So is nothing attacking? I'm sorry. Like again, at the moment you started to describe things,
there's two zombies at the edge of your 30 foot of turning, and they are still standing there, but they aren't closing the distance. The effective turning seems to be keeping them at bay. But the one that Gravlex broke the turning on, he just fully decapitated with some divine fury and smiting.
Okay, sweet. Well, in that case, I point to one of them and I say, we all attack one together. Tactics. And I cast Sacred Flame on it.
Okay, that's a dex save, I believe.
Why is this not working? Roll. Roll, please.
Is it gonna make a dex save, I believe?
Oh, yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, dex save.
Somehow. That's a lot of damage for a cantrip.
Oh, I kept pressing it because it wasn't reacting to my pressing.
Okay. Okay, I'll just like, oh no, it turns out it's guiding bolt. Oh, we're going nuclear, are we? Okay. It appears to make the save with a 17. The flowing of the water just allowing it to move just out of reach of it.
Alright, I just say, ugh!
Do you know what? It's... Yeah, even with disadvantage, it still stubbornly clings on. And with that zombie's away doing that. We are back to Grathleth.
Well, problem with smite bots is they don't have ranged weapons currently, and I'm not about to wade into the water, so I'm gonna give up my action at this point and stay ready just in case anything comes out of the water.
Sure thing. So you're basically staying vigilant.
I've got my shield up and I'm giving
Something rather bizarre happens, which is that one zombie grabs the other zombie's upper arm and pulls its left arm completely off. The zombie that has just had the arm taken off similarly grabs the right arm of the zombie opposite and pulls that off. They both then drop the limbs into the lake. And continue seemingly, actually, efficiently tearing each other apart. We are then back to the top of the round with Picandra.
Okay, Picandra will kind of think, okay, I'm going to do what the cleric says just to not piss them off, because I don't want them to, do things to me. So,
Okay.
and I try to open a new hole into the zombie that the cleric mentioned,
Okay.
with disastrous effects.
There's something about doing what she says after that very long walk in the valley.
Yeah, because a Tang is not going to hit, is he?
Let's double check. It will.
Oh. Really?
Because, and say it with me, gang, it's a zombie.
Okay, fine. Then it has another 7 new points of.
Yeah, this one, it lands more in the throat. It's beginning to kind of swing where it's disassembling the other one.
And as I shoot, I look at the cleric and say, like that?
Yes.
Okay. I'll do another one in a minute. A few seconds, actually.
Reloading the bow.
Speaking of, we are then back to Imral.
Sacred Flame on the one that they shot.
Say the line, cleric, say the line! Okay, with its negative, it fails.
It fails. Okay,
It fails.
excellent. Alright. Why is this not... Okay. I keep pressing 3 damage. 3 radiant damage.
3 radiant damage, fantastic, that's what we like to hear. As it's kind of fizzes, and the water bubbles. Bubbles is the wrong word. At first you think it's bubbles, but it boils? And around the zombie, the blood becomes, or the red tinge becomes thicker. And there is a distinct smell of it's kind of this coppery sour tang of blood cooking off. That zombie is doing that. And
Yum.
then we are back to Gravleth.
I'm walking out of the water, by the way, as we're attacking. Alex, I don't know how long it takes me, but I'm.
Oh yeah, when you said that you put yourself in between Picandra and Gravleth, I kind of assumed that was on dry land rather than.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I wasn't sure the distances.
Yeah. Gravleth, your turn.
It concerns me if this is some kind of zombie generator or something like that. Zombie battery. I mean, setting fire to water is a bit of an odd thing.
Corian does not ask what is possible, only what you are willing to do.
I do have on me a flask of oil there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how much that will do, but I'm noticing that the burning off of the blood seems to be something that interests me. So I'm going to try kind of spilling some of this flask of oil into the water and setting fire to the surface.
Okay, so are you doing that from your position, or are you closing the 30-foot distance and kind of trying to do it as close to the zombies as you
My position. It's sort of an experiment in the middle of battle.
Okay, the best time to do them. Okay, so with your heavy chainmailed gauntleted fingers, you find your small flask of oil, begin dumping a suitable amount out onto the water, and with your flint, make me a sleight of hand check in the heat of battle for as you try and set water on fire through the power of fluid dynamics. 10 is enough, as you applying the same theory that you do from your military training of, well, if I leave the oil flask on the side pouring out, I can spark that and then it will fall down. And it does. And a small fire, only about, like we are talking, like 12 inches across, 12, 18 inches, begins sitting rather low on the surface of the lake.
Now, because of the material in it, does it take, or is it?
It seems to persist. It doesn't fizzle immediately, which is what you would expect in a lake with any amount of current.
Mm-hmm.
It's more. It's an oddly sustained low burn. And the smell that comes off is less coppery, it's less blood-like. There's more of a kind of pork meat smell.
We're going to make a note of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's my turn.
Yeah. Welcome to Alex GMing again. Mildly unsettling things that shouldn't be. And then with that, the two zombies, one of them pulls the leg off another one, and you see the two disembodied, limbless forms of these zombies floating in this lake. We are out of initiative, and that burning that Gravlev set off, it's not growing, it's continuing to go with the very minute flow of the lake or the disturbances in the water, but it's not going out.
See, because that's the one thing I didn't expect it to do. I thought this is either going to go up in my face, which it normally does, or it'll just go out. And that's very interesting.
Alex, can I make any type of like lore check or like history check?
Tell me a story. What skill are you bringing to bear to try and understand this? Because something being weird.
So, I am old. I have fought in the Titan Wars. possibly on one side or the other. I have spent very much time wandering this world, and if it's something that maybe something that I've seen in the Titan
Okay, you can
War.
make me a history check. It will be at disadvantage. Gravlex, you can make me a religion check.
Okay.
And Picandra, you can make me a nature check.
Oh!
Did you crit?
Yes.
Amazing. I am now going to roll a 1, everybody. I have to roll again.
Not.
No, I have to roll again. I have to roll twice and take the lowest. 7.
Obviously, the sight of fire was inspiring.
There you go.
So, Emma, you cast your mind back, memories of the Blood Sea, of the Titan War. It's one of those bizarre things of, although they were so vivid and there were things that were so unforgettable, the monotony of the time in between seems to strip away the detail, the sights, the smells of those brighter and more horrible days.
All right. Yeah, I just stand there staring at the red water for a bit.
Mm-hmm. Gravleth, with a 23, you are aware of the legends of the Blood Sea, but this is something different. Because if it was Titan's blood, you would expect it to be of a more monstrous variety. Undead are not quite right. Picandra, with your 15, it's the bodies of the zombies. They're not right. They looked like villagers, but they had those. And then the more you try and put their faces back to the shape that they should have been, like the ears are long, and you're just like, were they all elves? Okay, and you begin to think that maybe the reason that these footprints ended here is that they have become that. But then who made them? That would imply that this happened locally nearby. Like, who freshly sources a zombie?
What's tying them to the lake? I wonder. Is there any? Of course, they come from the water, so there's no way of from underneath the mud in the water. So there's no way of knowing if they come from somewhere. If there is a point of origin.
You could swim down and follow where they burrowed from.
That might be a tad too dangerous, and I am kind of a cat. I'm near water.
Imala, roll me an Arcana check, because you might have heard of this.
I don't want to roll anymore, Alex. It just makes me sad. 13 plus 3, 16. Okay.
16.
Above a 6! Above a 6! We've won this session today! I rolled above a 6!
I really am herding cats. I don't wanna. Oh no, it's good. Yes.
Don't worry. My next character, once I'm smote, will be a cat friend for Picandra.
Okay. We're all just going to be very positive Manticoras third time round. You are aware, Emma, of the following the Divine War. There are many names for it. Some call them true rituals, some call them alchemy, of ways of bending the powers of the gods, of the titans, of what remains of Gelspad itself, ways of bending magic to do things that you wouldn't normally associate with it, things that perhaps were never meant to be done. And you are aware, partly because you were trying probably because you were trying to, shall we say, secure the secrets for yourself at some stage, are aware of that some Titan spawn cults or have knowledge of these strange rituals that allow them to do things that are way beyond their normal power.
And
That,
we also, oh, sorry.
that or someone spent an awful lot of money, or is just very powerful and very bored, or maybe, I mean, Blood Sea alchemy is weird, but you're miles from the Blood Sea and you defy anyone to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we did find a symbol of Mormont.
Mhm.
Am I saying that right? Mormont.
Yes.
I take it out of my bag and I start like fiddling with it while I'm looking at the Blood Sea or the Blood River Lake thing.
We got rid of that.
Huh?
I said I thought we got rid of it.
Oh, I picked it up. I summoned my mage hand behind me.
Well,
It's a black mage hand, kind of gothy looking.
It's
It waves at
skeletal.
you. I relay the information that I've recalled in a suitably Amalia fashion.
So, like, oh my god, like, you wouldn't believe it, but, like, people like me could probably do this, because it's fine.
Yeah, it's like totally cool, and whatever. Like, it's probably just some bored rich person. But no, it's a cult of Mormons, probably. I say, putting two and two together, but who knows? Maybe not.
but the consistency of this water and this relationship with undead seems to be less Titan spawn related than it would be. And I'm interested. I mean, what if we consider tracing it back to its source?
I look at our fearless leader. Boris and Natasha look at fearless leader.
Where I'm just surmising out loud, and I'm not about to kind of tell you what you should or should not be doing.
Well, tracing it to its source.
It vexes me, but I don't know why this is here, and it's obviously causing great problems to the area, and I feel that it requires further investigation.
Alex, do we have a way of knowing how powerful a being has to be able to create these many zombies and turn them dead and that sort of thing?
Well, it's a corrupted ritual, he said.
So,
Ritual, okay.
and knowledge in the party is that there are certain rituals that allow, through various means, usually through blood sacrifice or just the profane knowledge, allow creatures to kind of leapfrog their magical ability in certain instances. They do, however, take a vast amount of time and preparation.
Okay, but what I'm trying to figure out is, this is my thinking. We can try and track what the genesis of this is at the moment, but my fear is that we may find something that we cannot survive because it might be a very powerful being. So what I'm trying to elucidate is if whoever created this would be too strong for us to handle and how to tackle this. Because evidently we do need to find where the origin of this is, but I don't want to do it in a way that is going to get us all killed.
With your nature roll from earlier, the time that the bodies vanished, we're talking a couple of weeks, so the creature that did this is probably a fair distance away by now, unless it's lingered. But that is a concern that is genuine and you can have, certainly. You can make me a investigation check, please, Pacandra.
Investigation. Ooh, not bad. 19.
19. You do recall that there was a number of large, heavily laden horses.
Okay.
So potential allies in the area.
Okay. Why don't we? I say. Okay. Okay. You two. I'll tell you what we can do. Okay. So, um, remember there are some horses nearby, so they could want to help us. You know, if we tell them that over there is the people who are doing all this stuff, and it might be nice if we stop them, so nobody else get killed. So you can all have productive lives and pay taxes and what have you. But we should go and find. I think we should just try to stop wherever it is doing this because it's the right thing to do for me. I think it's the right thing to do for you, the paladin, and Imalia, it would be an endless opportunity for you to vanish more undead, which you seem to be very good at.
That's fine. I'm interested.
See, I knew I could get you into doing something productive for somebody else.
Yes.
I know you're good somewhere. So okay, so why don't we, following the fact that I am a very good tracker and I tracked earlier very well, why don't we continue the tracks that I was tracking and we find where all this is coming from, so we could stop it. I think that would be great.
Or at
Yes.
least bring back some evidence.
Oh, both? Yeah, why not? Yeah, it would be great. Yeah, why don't we do that? I think we should do that. Let's do that. Shall we do that? Are we in agreement?
Very good.
Yay, consensus.
The true power of D&D consensus.
Everybody looking in different directions like a U2 album.
I mean, so far, this party has agreed a lot more with one another than the last party. I'm just saying.
It's a bit like saying I'm less on fire. And that, I think, is a great opportunity for us to pause our story, and we will be back in 10 minutes.
So we can have.
But we will see you back in 10 minutes. past. Bye. all of his options. There we go. Hello, and we are back with our Scarred Lands Part 2 of Chapter 2 of New Beginnings, shall we say. On this bizarre red lake that you have found yourself, it continues on deeper into the Broadreach horizon. Picandra, the tracks become more sporadic the deeper you go. Perhaps it's a question of various villages use this for water, and you're approaching kind of the distance in between this village and the next one. Can our member of the Silver Order make me a Arcana check?
Certainly. It's not my strong point.
Okay. You, as you're wandering, continuing to try and trace this lake and whatever secrets these undead creatures were guarding, you feel... It's a bizarre feeling. It's that moment when you're walking through a forest, but you can see through like a clearing that only if you'd only stopped there you would be able to see it. It's a moment like that where you gaze across the lake and you see a path isn't the right word, but it's too flattened by boots and other things to not be a trail of something, but it's not right. It's the vines and the undergrowth are beginning to reclaim it. It has an air of... It's like a book without a name, something lost.
Can I point this out to my ranger friend? Is it something I can focus in on and actually point to? So this is causing me. This is not right.
Picandra, this is pointed out to you. It's up to you how you interpret it, but it could be a question of this is where animals migrate through. Also, there's a lake that clearly wasn't there 6 months ago, so this region is full with bizarre things. But on closer inspection, this pathway through the undergrowth, it spirals around into the side of a hill, so you can't see where it completely leads. But there are faint signs that of someone that didn't want to be followed, that only with your expert eye stopping to look that you notice.
So there is somebody around here who is doing their level best to make sure that it cannot be followed.
Someone has gone down this path doing their level best so they can't be followed, yes, within the last few days.
Okay, look, this is what will happen to me, all right? So if I didn't want to be found and somebody found me, I could be either very upset with myself and congratulate whoever found me because they were very good trying to find me, or I could be really upset with whoever is finding me because I don't want to be found. So somebody has gone through here. It's likely to be somebody's gone through here and they don't want to be found. So if we find them, they're either going to congratulate us or they're going to try to kill us. I don't know which one. So let's just say, though, that if I didn't want to be found, I would probably have something to hide. So somebody has something to hide. I might be reaching a few, inaccurate conjectures, but one never knows.
So is it diverting from our path?
Sorry, Terry, I can barely hear you.
is it worth diverting from our path and having a look, seeing where this trail takes us?
It would be a good idea, I think, to take a little bit of a detour so we are not found either. Look at that. We can be like them and not be found. That would be great, I think, if they don't find us, just in case. Maybe.
Again, I look back at Ragla's armor and look at mine, and I just smile. Like,
I mean, if you want to, I'm not going to say that this has to be something that we reach again, that famous word consensus. I could try and scout ahead a little bit, just a couple of 100 yards and see what happens. Try not to get killed myself.
you need to embrace the role we've given you. You are the leader in this expedition. I believe we're following what you say.
No, that's why I'm saying that we need to reach consensus. This is a partictocracy.
Yes, let's follow the path.
Yeah, let's follow the path.
Okay. 2-1. I'm happy.
I
Consensus.
look at you as if to say we actually agree on something. Like,
You continue down the path. So you have to cross the lake, which is easily done. You wade through it, although it does involve wading Pacandra through the lake. And as you continue around until the lake is obscured by the hill that this path curls around, you find yourself on the other side of it in its shadow in the now afternoon light. And in a small clearing where several dead trees cast rather oppressive shadows, you see a cart that has clearly been looted and 2 bundles, Pacandra, 2 familiar looking or similar sight of bundles of armour that have landed with no body in them. And you can hear, it's not whimpering, it's someone sucking air through their teeth. As Pacandra, you peek your head over the wagon, and with it's like a thorny tendril, it's like a javelin made out of thorns, stuck through his shoulder into the wagon, is a hollow legionnaire, his eyes wide in pain.
Please, don't move. Please, do not move. Let me. How badly hurt are you?
So that's what Pacandra's doing. What is everyone else doing as you observe this scene?
I'm sorry, you go first. Hey. Now, my instinct is that this has been set up as a trap, because I'm suspicious. As the obvious person goes. I'm gonna call upon the power of Coral to give me insight. And I'm gonna use divine sense to see if I can pull up anything that might be untoward or kind of have kind of not nice kind of intentions towards us,
Yep, so you reach for your holy symbol, which I believe is your sword?
It is my sword on my shield, yeah.
Yep. And you
make a roll.
As there is a silvery light, as the light seemingly dances these beautiful sparks of silver light from your armour.
Right.
and you are very aware, all of a sudden, in an instant, that these trees have no roots.
Oh shit! Sorry.
And these trees aren't in a clearing around this cart. They are perfectly encircling it. As you sense that they are an aberration.
Well, I automatically shout to Vikandra to get back, and kind of trying to gesticulate to everybody about the trees.
They're in the trees! They're in the trees!
Bad! Bad trees, naughty trees on your bed, on your right.
Mm-hmm. So with that, we will quickly move over to this, hopefully. And with that, can everyone please roll me initiative?
Yeah.
And sorry, Thid, were you saying can you detect evil?
Yeah, I was wondering if this can detect evil.
I don't know, can Thid detect evil?
Divine sense. I can. Strong evil registers to your senses like a noxious odor. Maybe I smell a little worse than normal, but not like the most overpowering thing you've ever smelled.
I tell you what, Thid, you can make me a nature check with advantage if this is a.
I smell confused. That's what I smell like.
With advantage. Okay. Right, so Pecan just got an 11.
Where's the buttons for initiative again? On our character sheet.
So if you click on the little fist symbol on your right.
Yeah. Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you can just click.
How does this work? Look, I rolled a 15. My luck is changing.
We'll just get a paladin friend. Okay. So with what did you get on the nature check, Thid? If anything, nothing.
Kendra, what was your favorite nature check?
Sorry, my initiative was 11.
No, sorry. Ilmerid. I said nature with advantage to sniff out evil.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Okay, I like that one.
Okay, everyone sniffs out evil apparently at a comedically appropriate moment as the branches of these trees draw back as if they were wielding weapons, and vines begin to grow out of them before your eyes. As top of the round, we have. Can I pronounce the names today?
Amalia. Cool.
It stinks of evil. If I've understood your feature correctly, it stinks of evil.
No. I was wondering if Terry's sense could sense evil.
Oh, okay.
Worried as a fellow player.
Right. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yes.
I'm just trying to get as many people involved as much as I can. Okay. Right, moving swiftly on. How's D&D tonight? That cleric asked if she smelled. It's just weird.
We don't talk about it anymore. I am going to 1 second use my mouse because it's easier. No, it is not easier. Why is this not scrolling?
Balance is restored to the universe. Start the clock. How long till tech support?
I cast Sanctuary on Fearless Leader.
Ooh. Does Fearless... Okay.
It's basically Bekendra. I turn, and in the same nature that I turned to like the undead, I point a finger at you and I start whispering in hushed tones underneath my voice, and all of a sudden, kind of like this black aura flows over you. It may feel oppressive,
Okay,
but
Okay.
I kind of feel
Oh,
uncomfortable
wait.
about it.
shit. Ooh. Are we? We're not. I realize that Sanctuary stops if they're attacked. If they attack, maybe Sanctuary is not the right thing.
Okay, so you turn around and think about booping Bekandra, and then...
Yeah. I turn and I point, and I'm like, not today. And I turn and I am going to walk up to the tree and grab one of its branches. I would like to make a melee spell attack. Will this do it for me? Will Foundry do this for me?
Yep.
If I just click
If you
this?
click the thing.
Cast spell. That's probably not enough. Let's see. Oh, 13?
13 hits.
I do, basically, I grab onto it, and then, like, this black aura exits from my hand as I basically, like, wilt the tree under my grasp, and I do 17 necrotic damage on it.
So as you do that, and the vine kind of cracks off in your hand, like it's trying to sever the connection to it, like it would, like a biped would a gangrenous limb, as the black necrotic energies flow. All of the negativity of several bad thoughts is expelled as the energy spills over, and how many different ways can I say it? And then with that, we're over to Gravleth.
Right. As in my I'm gonna get all medieval kind of Jedi with this, and I'm gonna invoke my silvery weapon. So I'm gonna pull out my sword, pull it to my head, and kind of invoke the power of the weapon, which is a cantrip spell that I have as part of my holy order. So I'm just gonna go for that now.
Yep.
There we go.
So your blade begins to shimmer in the light as if it's made of molten silver.
And as it was getting dark, I think it's a nice way kind of lighting up the area. They may not quite like that, it being bright light and stuff. But also it adds my charisma modifier to my attack roll, which is not great, but it's something. So that's what I do first, and then I kind of move into combat, I suppose.
Yep, so you close the distance with the larger of the trees, and I take it you hit it.
Yes, thank you. So let's get the old sword and smite.
How does Gravleth move in combat? Is it a slightly crouched run? Is it big wide strides? Is he shouting as he brings the sword down?
I mean, he's very much kind of Kingdom of Devon about these things. He has his shield up and he kind of brings his sword to bear.
Mm.
He's kind of very purposeful. He's no nonsense. He just kind of strides in.
As you hack at one of the branches, which stubbornly kind of hangs on for a moment before wilting and falling off. Also, very Kingdom of Devon about it. I can never unhear that, and I'm okay with that. It is at this point that the tree will retaliate, he says hopefully. Does an 18 hit you, Gravleth?
18 does hit.
Okay. That is going to be 8 points of damage.
Okay.
Can you make me a strength saving throw?
So we got that. Just click straight.
Yeah, if you click it on the right, it'll roll it as a saving throw.
Yeah. Easy, easy.
So as it strikes out back at you, you feel the vines within the branch wrapping around, basically finding the gaps in the armour and attempting to wrap around and take root there, but with a quick change of position, the rings snap back and sever the loose kind of podlings. And does a 12 hit Imala?
Nope.
I like to think she just kind of stands there and stares it down. And it just...
I just look, and I'm just like, ugh, nature.
I've just noticed something on here, Alex, if I just kind of recall on that. It says 4 damage, but I've actually got +5 strength modifier, so I don't think it's added it to it.
Let's double check this. You got +3 strength modifier, +5 on saving throws.
Okay.
Because you're proficient in them, and the 3+2.
Okay.
Let's just double check that that's... Yeah, that's adding the 3. I was going to say +5 at this level. What?
Wrong one.
Did you roll for stats? Good God.
I didn't know whether the plus was in there or not. What was considered.
Does your charisma modifier get added to the damage?
No.
Okay. Pakandra.
Right. Pakandra is going to do something a little bit more extreme than usual. And he's going to take a look at these tendril things. Do they come from a point of origin?
Yes, they come from within the trunk of the tree, although it is very clear that this is a creature that's using dead tree trunks as cover rather than actually being in there, rather than being a tree. Yep.
In any event, I'm going to cast a firebolt on the tree.
You cast a firebolt on the tree.
And I heard a modifier thingy. I make a range spell attack.
This is getting out of hand. The ranger has cantrips.
And attack at 17.
17 definitely hits, and that's...
It does 6 fire points, and it bursts into flames because it's flammable because it's wood.
Yep, it is. And it does.
In the middle of the forest. Yeah, that was reckless.
And then with that, as the rotting hulk of this tree trunk burns away, inside you see a bleached skull with a tendril that's the lower jaw missing, the green wrapping vines forming a kind of skeletal structure, as if it's trying to rebuild a body that it once had. And in its eyes are 2 green gems. And with that, we are back to Imala.
Cool. I am going to summon my spiritual weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I will cast the spell on Foundry so I can use the spell slot. Cast spell. I don't need to roll for spiritual weapon, but okay. All right, cast it. And then I am going to attack it as well with a...
Yep. So your spiritual weapon arrives and does a meaty blow to it.
Oh, well, I know I attack it with my mace, and I can attack next round, but as my bonus action, I summoned the spiritual weapon.
Yep, and as part of summoning it, it attacks. Which is why spiritual weapon is a ridiculous spell, and it's not concentration.
I know, that's also why I was kind of like, sweet. Does a 13 hit?
Yes.
Right, so like this black short sword comes out and stabs the thing for 10 force damage. And then I attack it, and I hit with my mace for 6 damage.
I just think like the mage hand like runs after the spiritual weapon, like it's trying to join in. Just. And then with that, we're back to Gravax, who is muted.
Mute.
Too angry, too much evil to slay.
Beside myself with all this evil I have to smite. Yes, I'm going to continue to pommel down on this disgusting thing. So I'm going to roll my attack. And that's not good, is it?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a miss, isn't it?
So you swing up, and a tendril just catches your hand and wraps around it, just enough to throw you off balance and hold it there, and then it is going to lash out, hopefully. 17, unable to. Does 17 hit you, Gravlax?
No, sorry.
Close cut now, cigar. So it is able to wrap around. You end up in this bizarre instance of it's wrapping around your hands to stop you hitting it, but you then reach out with your hand and grab parts of the grasping vine, and they try and grow out, but they're only able to kind of wrap around your fingers, not enough to get a good solid thing. You can hear them creaking against your shield as you bring that up to deflect one of the larger bulbous parts of it. And it gets a snarky look from Imala as it misses again. The tendrils just can't reach, aren't quite long enough. And then with that, we are over to Pacandra.
Okay, Pacandra, seeing that the fire is actually burning.
Yep.
Jedi. I guess this round, this thing is going to take damage from burning from the previous round.
It does indeed.
Okay, so it takes whatever damage that happens to cause.
Yep.
Plus another firebolt, which I'm about to throw like this. And takes another 5 points of damage.
It does indeed.
So it should be starting to...
the tree trunk that it was hiding in is fully up in flames. And as it burns apart, you're able to see the... at first, last round, you saw one skull with its kind of like vine-like neck.
Mm-hmm.
But as the tree trunk finally begins to burn away and fall like a undersized girdle that has finally snapped, you see several crushed remnants of skulls that several jaws with no upper skull attached to, moving as if speaking but without a voice.
What does he say?
They don't have a voice, so...
He's speaking without a voice.
And with that, we're over to Imala. Who is muted.
My mouse doesn't, like, the click doesn't work. Only, it's just very annoying. In any case, I am going to hit it with my weapon. And then I'm going to hit it with my other weapon. I'm going to hit it with 2 weapons. Let's see. Sir, can I just click on this again? Does it then use a spell slot? Oh, it'll use... Oh, don't consume spell slot. Thank you.
We have the technology.
We have the technology! And then I'm just going to do the other attack as well. Right. Oh, guys, this is going okay. This is going okay.
Well, another 6. Consistently.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do 12 points of damage. I hit it to it with my mace through like the flames. Just I'm not like Not so much that I'm not impressed by the awesome fire that Bacandra made, but I'm just very unimpressed by the creature that's in this thing. Like, and I hit into it with my mace, and then for good measure, stab at it in one of its many faces with my long short sword.
Okay, and then we are over to Gravelax in this do or die. Come on.
It's like the Chuckle Brothers doing combat, isn't it? To me, to you, to me, to you. Right, I'm going to have to smack it again, aren't I? So let's go for that.
Well, have to is a strong word.
Compelled to. Goodness me, I used up my 20s early, didn't I?
Yeah, well, 12 is still a hit. Would you care to smite?
I would care to smite. I would like to add to that. So let's go to my features and click Divine Smitey and roll for that. There we go. Oops.
Okay, as you let out liquid silver-like element of your sword, gouges, you twist your wrist and slice off the vines that were grasping you, and then drive the blade into the burning tree husk, and there is the sound of popping as parts of the vines begin to pop off, and the skull that's at the center of this thing on this vine-like neck rolls and locks eyes with you. And can everyone apart from Bacandra make me a Constitution saving throw? Because Bacandra, as I understand it, is on the other side of the thing, other side of the cart.
Crit! I am unimpressed by this thing.
So, Gravloth, you're going to take 7 points of necrotic damage.
Is that it?
And your hit point maximum is reduced by 7.
Okay. So if I do that to A1. So, is that everything?
And it swipes out with its vines, but is just unable to connect. The first one, you easily sidestep. The second one, you bring your shield up and you hear the heavy impact, but your faith is stronger. The third one, part of the neck kind of extends out, the skull sweeping like it was a mace as you bring your sword up, and you hear the sound of the bone crunching on it as if it's biting into the blade. And it's making noises. The vines have been making kind of these whirring noises of them under tension, but closer to the skull, you're able to hear there is this husky, wrong, discordant noise, like a voice.
What?
And with that, we are back to Bacandra.
Since I've heard that, I'm going to say, oh, look, with my mouth, let's put a fireball to it. Like that.
That you do.
And I say, just your breath stinks.
That it does.
I'm liking this country.
Yeah. I'm intrigued where Picandra learnt it.
By the way, I'm pretending I'm shooting you with my bow. So I'm just doing this. I'm then. There you go. So it's kind of like magic.
What's your arcane focus? My bow. Love it. And then with that, we are back to the top of the round of the very unimpressed, but now rolling above a 6. Hell yeah.
I'm rolling above a 6, guys. It's awesome. I'm living the life. I will again hit it with my mace and hit it. I need to look up a spell, so I'm just going to do this round again. I hit it with my mace and I hit it with my spiritual weapon. Possibly don't consume spell slot. Thank you. Okay, so that doesn't hit. I'm not rolling above 5.
No, that still hits.
Oh, does it hit?
Yep. It's a
Oh,
claw.
wow.
It's not
Okay.
particularly dexterous or armored.
Okay, 8 damage from my mace and 5 force damage.
Okay, cool. Yep. And then with that, we are back to Gravlax.
Yeah, let's have a go.
How do you want to do this?
Yes. Having it scream at me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab it by its neck and just kind of, in a sweeping silver arc, just lop its head straight off it.
You lop its head clean off it, and the tendrils kind of spasm momentarily before wilting as the skull rolls on the ground and lands facing you, Gravlex. The gems, their burning green energy dissipating, and you could swear it's a voice you've heard before. It's the voice that it's a noise, everyone, that you've definitely heard before, and it's the noise of the last breath, which, given this thing doesn't have a body, is a bit bizarre. But the light fades, and the skull and the vines begin to melt away, rotting before your eyes. In a handful of minutes, there'll be nothing left to say that this was ever here, apart from the skull and these 2 green gems.
My concern at this point is not of the dying creature. I want to run over to the Hollow Legionnaire and lay on hands, if that's possible.
Okay, you run over to the Hollow Legionnaire and you pump lay on hands. And make me a medicine check.
Medicine. Yay!
All the bleeding is internal, which is where the blood is meant to be. You're 2 in the moment of someone in need as you begin pumping healing into them. Picandra and Emilia, what are you doing?
I want to go behind the paladin and oh, hello?
Hello?
Oh, sorry, I froze. I want to go behind the paladin and start antagonizing him with my superior healing knowledge. So I'm like, oh, don't touch that. You know you normally need permission before you just start grabbing people, don't you?
I don't know. I do many things. I'm not normally around people.
You don't know. All right.
I've lived in a thing. Wanted to say convent, but it's not that. It's close to that.
What were you doing in a convent? I keep distracting him from the dying person.
And not getting in contact with other people, obviously. Anyway, this man's died. Can you help him?
Why? Maybe it's his time. I look down. I say
You
you've
say
died
it like
once.
you only just start looking down on them.
I look at him, I look down, and I say, "You've died once. Do you want to die again?"
Picandra, whilst this is happening, you are muted, Picandra.
Sorry, is the monster with the green emeralds still around?
The body of it is turning to compost as we speak. The skull and the 2 gems are.
I take them.
Cool. You take the 2 green gems. They're worth 50 gold each.
I literally.
Yep.
I mean, I take the whole skull. If the gems are embedded in the skull, then I take the whole skull with the gems.
Yep. Can you make me a wisdom save, please, Picandra?
Wisdom save. That is not gonna do me any good. Oh, actually, it is going to do me some good. Yeah, 19.
Yep. You pick it up, and it's just a skull. It's a weird day. And did she seriously say that to someone that's dying? What?
I put it in my rucksack, and then I go to the legionnaire thing person who's dying.
Yep. Cool. You go to the legionnaire that is dying with the. And
I presume I've heard Emilia saying, "Oh, what for curing?" Right?
Mm-hmm.
I just say, "Oh my goodness sake, will you just give it a rest?" And I do a cure wounds on the creature.
Certainly, you do a cure wounds into this holy legionnaire. Make me a medicine check with advantage, please, Picandra.
I beg your pardon, making it what? With advantage?
Medicine check with advantage.
I point at the thing he's impaled in as you're trying to cast it. And then I roll my eyes and I sit down.
Okay. That would be a 20.
You are able to heal his etheric flesh, but as you do, he grinds his teeth and bites back pain as you see the thorn that he's impaled through. It grows into the wound, and you're able to see new cuts emerging under his cuirass, out of his chest, as you follow the impalement through the shoulder, and as you look at the tears in his tunic, think at first you thought they were debris. This thing has grown inside him, and the more he grows back, the bigger it gets.
I asked him, what did this to you?
He's clearly biting back pain. His eyes are wide. Even with his blue etheric skin, he looks pale. Every breath you can hear what passes for a Holy Legionnaire's bones grinding on these thorn-like vines that are permeating his being.
I think at this point, maybe death may be the smaller mercy.
Alex, can I make some type of check to try to figure out what's happening? Wisdom, like a.
You can make me a medicine, or you can make me an arcana.
Cool. I'll go for arcana.
Yep.
Will I roll above a 5? Yes! 17. I'm so excited. Amalia's not that excited, but out of character Liz is very excited.
This would appear to be part of the life cycle of the larger creature that you fought. It's basically in the same way that a wasp lands a podling in a caterpillar. This Holy Legionnaire is the caterpillar, and his non-organic being has appeared to have mutated it to the point of it's now trying to grow alongside him rather than through him.
I think I can cut this thing out.
Was that a question or a statement?
Both.
You said it with enough confidence. It's just a kind of...
No, do I think I can cut this thing out?
Looking at the state of the Legionnaire, you could, but it's... Given the way it's responding to magical energies and other things, and given how it's gone in his left shoulder and is coming out under his right ribs. But then again, you don't know how whole Legionnaires work. Do they need blood? Do they have blood? Do they have hearts?
But what if so this is my theory, that if I can get a good hold of it and I cast Spare the Dying on this Hollow Legionnaire, and then I, in his chest, kind of just inflict wounds on this thing, I'm hoping that I can just, like, crush the entire thing underneath my hand.
You can certainly try.
I'd like to do that.
Okay.
I say move away, children.
I give her space.
Where you've reached out to lay on hands this Legionnaire, Gravlex, his free hand kind of lands on it as he kind of holds it. And as who I assume is... You don't have to flick your hands before you spell things, but room, yes, right, and...
I'm flicking with daggers.
Spiritual weapon, come here, right.
Is it still possible to get down off the cart to give her space then?
Yes, it is. You can basically stand over to one side and...
Set fire to the cart!
So, this is going to be a sleight of hand check at disadvantage.
Motherfucker. Oh, I'm sorry.
You rolled above a 6 and this is what we get!
Oh, can I do anything to assist myself in any way? Give me a moment. Can magic help me? Let's see. The answer is no. Will my mage hand help me? Is my mage hand better than I am? No, my mage hand is not better than I am. Let's see, what else can I do?
I've got something, I don't know if it will work.
Well, out with it. I turn to you.
If I call upon the power of my gods, I can denounce this creature. And in doing so, it becomes incapacitated for a moment or two. Would that help?
Would it help Alex if he was completely still, the Hollow Legionnaire?
I know it. How many live surgeries have you performed recently?
Define surgery.
What would you define this as?
I mean, how close is this to torture?
I mean, depends who you ask, really. Depends if we're going to get into the argument of, do Hollow Legionnaire's dream.
I'm willing to take up this debate so I don't have to roll. No, okay.
It couldn't hurt, but that would in theory though mean that you did it with help.
This feels less like triage and more like a science experiment every minute.
I mean, I think I'm going to let him do it because it would be interesting to watch a Hollow Legionnaire's frozen face as he dies and how sad they're going to be. So I'm going to let him do this. I say, yes, that would be completely useful. Thank you.
Are you okay, Liz? I feel like you're working through something about Hollow Legionnaires with this new character. I want to see the light in his eyes as he goes.
I didn't get to see the light in the other one's eyes. I say yes, call upon your God for him to shine his light upon us.
It's more the fact that it'll affect the creature inside him, is what I'm hoping for.
Oh, to stop it from moving? I mean, that's a good point, though. I look at you and I say, go ahead, touch the man with your faith.
No, I don't have to touch him, I just have to hold out my holy symbol and focus.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, so go ahead.
Tell us what you're doing, Terry, and where it's from, and what have I got to do?
Right. Okay.
So denounce the unholy, I'm guessing, which I think is in the Scarred Lands main book.
It is indeed. It's a nice special one we've got here. It's as an action you present your holy symbol and speak of denunciation. So I'm telling this thing I don't believe in it. I denounce it back to it, the holy hollow from whence it came. So I'm choosing that creature. Or any similar creatures within a 60-foot area, and they must make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Obviously, if it's a fiend, which I doubt it is, it has a disadvantage. On a failed save, the creature is incapacitated for 1 minute until it takes damage.
Nat 20!
Yeah, it's not going to work, is it? I've not even rolled yet.
Well, it's a wisdom save, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's no good. Doesn't work.
It's something. Perhaps it's calling upon Korean so soon after you have previously. Perhaps it's the nature of this infection and in the Legionnaire, because the Legionnaire must be righteous. So maybe it's confused. And then with that, with the freaking little shop of horrors that I've now got brewing.
Burn it.
I say, ooh, your god must be angry at you.
However, there are things in the way.
Oh, probably.
This poor Legionnaire.
Okay, so you said a sleight of hand check
At
with
disadvantage because
why? Because of my brilliant plan, Alex. Nothing could possibly go wrong with it.
Okay, do you have... So your plan is to get a handle on the thing that's growing inside this guy's chest cavity and then cast a spell, right?
Warm, pretty little ball of fur.
By having breakfast at Nostromo.
I actually rolled the exact same twice. An 11.
That's above a 6.
It's not a 6.
So
do I go?
So tell me a story of how you're doing this. Are you going in through the shoulder that's been pierced, or are you?
Are Hollow Legionnaires like incorporeal or?
No, they're constructs. They're people.
Okay.
Their skin has a slight etheric quality to it, but other than that, they are completely solid.
Okay. Okay. So basically, what
otherwise,
I do is
otherwise, half of that damage would have just floated past Nevin, and
like in a kind of where I can see some thorn coming out between a chink in the armor. Basically, like I take my dagger and I just like plunge it in to like between flesh and thorn, and then I just reach my hand in and I grab on to the plant.
Okay, the Legionnaire's got to make a save. Does he stay conscious? I hope he fails.
Don't make me cast silence around him. No, nobody can hear you scream.
Nah, he's fairly self-contained. And you cast Inflict Wounds. Go ahead and roll the damage.
It is, I think, 3d10, right?
Yes, at first level, yeah.
Okay, cool. Actually, you know what I'll do is I'll cast it at a second with a second level slot just to make sure that I get this all in one go.
Ooh.
Let me just check
Spell
what that is.
slots are plenty. A spiritual weapon and a...
Do I need to roll to hit or should I just roll damage?
Just roll damage. You've plunged your fingers into the wound where this thing is.
13.
Okay, so several things happen at once. Picandra, what have you been doing whilst this horror show has been going on?
Apart from very much holding my stomach not to throw up whatever food I might have eaten in the last 24 hours, I am actually getting ready a Cure Wounds spell. So if, for whatever miracle of nature, this Hollow Legionnaire survives this what's the word I'm looking for?
Encounter.
Healing.
Intervention, and remodeling of his insides. I then will try to cure it, but I am increasingly growing more and more hopeless.
Okay, so what happens is as Amalia spills out this black bile that works her way up her veins, through her fingers, and into this Legionnaires things, you hear the sounds of vines tightening and of bones snapping. And out of his chest cavity, the Legionnaire, still conscious, thanks to the vast amount of healing from earlier, out pops a about 2 foot tall purple creature with green etheric wings, but rather than a mouth, it has a bizarre slug-like beak with extended kind of razor-like teeth. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
It's kind of instinctive, you know? You know, kind of. Whoops!
And it explodes. It pops like a zit.
Oh, I wanted to keep it.
And this purple ichor is sprayed in high velocity over the 3 of you and the Legionnaire. It is sticky, it is warm, and it is it's flash fried, so it kind of like goes from this sticky cold substance to this kind of lukewarm, stuck to you substance.
Is the Legionnaire kind of very dead?
Cure wounds.
As this Legionnaire is unconscious but no longer dying.
Nee, that's how you do medicine.
Wow.
I'm going to rename this spell. It's going to be knee-jerk firebolt. And it's gonna happen very often from now. Whenever I get scared, fireball.
Kind of, what do? I do reaction. What's that? It's firebolt. It's fire.
Firebolt, yeah.
I cast surprise.
A male gauntletly round of applause from me. That was spectacular.
I think that crit came at the right time.
I wanted to keep it.
There will be another one, don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, you gain, from your new Holy Legionnaire friends, who eventually comes around, you gain directions to a village nearby. It's called the Horse Village. There's nearby one called the Snake Village. And he says, we should be safe there. The patrol, and as he tries to talk about the others, maybe he doesn't know that they're dead. He succumbs again to the twilight of pain, and that, I think, is a great opportunity for us to stop for tonight. Thank you to Onyx Path for having us on. Thank you for watching. I don't know. Gelspad CSI, Gelspad Autopsy, Gelspad. Thank you very much to our lovely players, and we will be back same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you to Foundry for letting us use their wonderful stuff. And with that, I will bid you a good night. Stay safe out there. Bye bye.
Good night.